up, kings and queens? It's your girl, Essentially K. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, what's good? Happy Sunday, people. Happy self-care Sunday. Today, I actually just kind of want to talk. I know I posted about it maybe almost a month ago, probably a little over a month ago, about this weight loss journey for me and some things that have been going on, you know, the health end, but I said that I would go into detail when I actually made a video about it. So today I'm just going to kind of chat about what happened throughout this year with my health, why it made me get so serious about my health, and as well as why I actually transitioned into being vegan. But while I do that, I'm going to also show you guys one of my favorite recipes for my smoothies that I make. It's not the one that I make every single day, but it is one of my favorites. So we're going to make our smoothie first and then sit down and chat. Before we get started, I just kind of want to show you what I'm going to be using. All of the fruit was purchased at Target, I believe, and I prefer to actually use frozen fruit. That way I don't have to use ice because I just don't want it to water my smoothie down. But some people prefer to have fresh fruit and use ice. I just do not prefer that. So I'm going to be using sliced strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and pineapples for my fruit, and then I'm also going to add in some spinach and some ginger. I love ginger. And then instead of using water, I know some people use water, some people use like almond milk. I prefer orange juice, and preferably the one with pineapple. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and yeah, let's make it real quick. Alright, y'all, so to start, I just put about a handful of spinach in there. I'm actually almost out of blueberries, but it's pretty close to a handful-ish, maybe. And then I'm going to put a handful of raspberries. I want a few more. As well as the same amount of strawberries. Some of these are kind of frozen together. Add extra strawberries. And I'm also almost out of pineapple, so we're just gonna put the rest of those in there. Awesome, so a handful of each. All right, and lastly, I'm just gonna drop some ginger in there that I cut up and add my orange juice. So since I don't like super thick smoothies, I'm gonna make sure that I blend this up very well, and if necessary, then I'll add more juice. All right, we might have a good one. Let's see. See, it's a little thicker than I would want it to be, so I'm going to add a little more juice, just a little. Yeah, there we go. You can tell, see how it's like moving? It's not as thick. Y'all, this hits every time. All right, y'all, so at the very end, towards the end of 2019, just kind of a history before I say that, a history of like my weight, kind of. Like, I've always been, you know, a curvy girl, but not like bigger. I've just always had curves. I've always had hips, booty, boobs, all that stuff. But I was always somewhat still slim and like fit, even with my curves. So a few years back, I gained a lot of weight, like out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere. And I didn't really know what was going on. I went to my doctor, and she kind of just told me that my body was resistant to insulin. They put me on this medication for like maybe 3 3 months, I believe. 3 months or so, and the weight was just like falling off. But because I didn't necessarily need the medication anymore, I decided I didn't want to stay on it, so she took me off the medicine, and I just continued to eat what I thought was healthy and working out, dancing, all those good things, and I was in shape, fine. Fast forward to 2019, the very end of the year, probably like the last 2 to 3 months, I started gaining weight again, but I thought it was like due to stress. That was around the time of my move as well, preparing for my move. I was working a lot, always on my feet. Also, I was not sleeping, nor was I like eating enough at the time. Not by choice, just because I was like so busy all the time. And when I was eating, it wasn't like at decent times of the day. So my body was just like all out of whack, and I started gaining weight again towards the end of 2019, and rapidly, but like in my mind, I just was like, oh, it's because of stress, or, you know, I didn't really pay attention. Like, I paid attention to it, but not enough to go to the doctor at that time for that. I also was like, at this point, trying like random little diets. Mainly the first time I did it, it was like in support of my family, because they were doing the keto diet, and I was like, oh yeah, we can do this, you know, as a family, whatever. With the keto diet, you eat a lot of meat, yeah, like a lot of meat, and I've never been a big meat eater. Like, I've just never, I liked meat, but I've never been a big meat eater. I could for sure go without it. So with the keto diet, I was like, this is just not working for me. You know, I see all these success stories, and I'm like, they lost 100 pounds in like 4 months doing keto. But I understand that everybody's body is different, and I knew that going into it, but I was like, why do I feel like it's the reverse effect on me? Something's not right. So I stopped keto after like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks maybe. And then I actually moved. So I moved to California and ended up, you know, getting back into working out regularly once I was, you know, settled. Working out regularly, dancing, eating healthier, but not keto, just like a regular, normal, healthy diet, what I thought was healthy. And I started losing the weight. I'm like, okay, so maybe keto didn't work for me. Maybe I should stick to, you know, just regular food, you know? And making sure that I pay attention to the times of day that I'm eating, making sure that I'm getting my water intake in, just different things like that. So then March hits, right? And March 2020 hits, and I come home from California. So I go back home to Louisville, and immediately, like, I don't know why it happened this way, but immediately, like, I come home and I'm eating pretty much the same way I was eating in California, but my exercise changed at first. This is the big difference. I wasn't going out because we were shut down, so I wasn't going to as many places. I wasn't getting as many steps in. I wasn't going to the gym. So my daily routine changed, but my eating habits didn't. And so I started gaining weight, like, to the point to where I was so uncomfortable in my body. It was like I didn't even know who I was when I would wake up in the morning. And I know it sounds like ridiculously dramatic, but it's just, it was that. It was dramatic because it was this drastic change within a matter of, you know, a month or less. And I felt completely out of control of my body. So I start gaining all this weight at the very, you know, end of March, I believe, end of March, and all of April. Now I'm starting to mentally just check out. I'm like starting to go into this depression because I'm not working, I'm not dancing. What the heck is going on in this world? Pretty much everything was just like, it was just not a good time. It was not a good time. And mentally, I was in such a dark place because, I don't know, for those of you who are watching this video, like, comment down below if you've ever felt so uncomfortable in your own skin that you completely lose sight of who you are. I want to know, is it just me, or have you guys dealt with that before? Because when I tell y'all I was so uncomfortable in my own skin, everything hurt. Walking made me tired. My energy level was at an all-time low. And I'm normally the person that's like upbeat. I'm super chill, don't get me wrong, but I'm constantly trying to put positive energy into other people, into the universe, just speaking those things, like manifesting life and positivity. And I was at such a dark place. Also, no one knew about what I was going through with my weight besides like my mom. And I shared some stuff with my sister, like my oldest sister, not even mine. My other two sisters had no idea. So it was very hard. It was a very hard time because here I am going through something mentally in such a dark place, and no one knows. Like, no one knows to even check. But I couldn't be upset at them because I didn't want to share it. I still didn't understand what was happening. I didn't know what was going on with my body. So I don't know. It was just, I felt extremely lonely. And I know that I wasn't alone, but I felt like it. Because I was with my thoughts a lot of days, and they just weren't good thoughts. They just weren't good thoughts. So in May, I believe it was like the middle of May, towards the end, like the last 2 weeks, somewhere around there, I was like, I have to go to the doctor. Because at this point, like, and I'll insert some clips and stuff too. By this point, I was like, I have to work out. I have to, even though I can't go to the gym, I have to work out. So like during April and May, me, my mom, and my sister, and my niece, we would go walking. We would go for walks daily. We were getting our steps in at this point. March, I really didn't do anything once I got home. The very beginning of April, I don't think too much. But then like mid-April, May into June, like we were trying to do our walks. And I'll insert some clips because you would be able to tell just, I never uploaded these clips, but you'll be able to tell just from seeing those little clips, like where my weight was. And I was trying at the time, I was like, I have to take control of my life again because I don't understand, maybe I'm not working out enough. And I, for whatever reason, thought that it was all about me working out, the fact that my daily routine had slowed down, when in all actuality, there was something more serious going on with my body due to my diet. So in late May, sorry, I feel like I'm kind of all over the place with this, but y'all, I haven't even drank. Sorry. In late May, I went to the doctor, basically for a checkup, but going in with concerns. So I went in and I told her, I said, you know, and my doctor knows me, she knows my body, obviously not as well as I do, but she's been my doctor for years now, like a very long time. And she's seen kind of all of those like up and down times of my weight gain, my weight loss, blah, blah, blah. So she's seen kind of all of that. So when I walked into her office that day, she could just tell that it was something bigger than what we, you know, initially thought. And my energy was down. I was not in a good mood because, again, I'm coming from a depressive mind state at this time. So no matter how much I tried to force myself to be in a good mood, I didn't feel good from the inside out. I didn't feel good on the inside. I was wearing like sweatshirts in the summer, which, okay, it's not too off for me just because like I get cold a lot, but I was wearing like these baggy clothes in the summertime. in the summertime, y'all, like blazing heat, and I'm still wearing this kind of stuff just because I was so uncomfortable and like ashamed of how I looked because I didn't understand how I got to that point. So when I go to her office, they do my weight. I'm like literally at my heaviest weight I have ever been. I have never even thought that I would reach this weight. And if I still have the paper from that day, I believe my weight was like 240, it was like 246.2 maybe. Y'all, I broke down crying in that doctor's office because I have never seen that. I have never seen that type of weight before. Not even close, not even close. And so for me to have been literally losing weight, working out, eating healthy just a few months before, to all of a sudden, bam, I'm at my highest weight of my entire life. I'm not able to go and work out like I would like to because we're shut down technically. I was so sad, like, and I'm not gonna cry because I'm not about to cry about this because I've cried about it enough, but I was so sad, like, and they did blood work that day. Also, I would just like to put this out there. I have hated getting blood work done my entire life, like all the finger pricks, taking blood, just because my veins are extremely shallow, so they have to poke me a lot. But this day I was like, I need the blood work done. And if you know me, you know I hate getting my blood drawn because, again, they can never find my veins. And so this day I was like, y'all gonna have to find them. Like, I need to know what's going on. They did my blood work, and I think I had to go back like a couple days later, I believe. Yeah, I had to go back like a couple days later, and that's when I actually found out that I was officially like pre-diabetic, which was huge to me because, you know, diabetes runs in my family. But what I didn't understand at that moment in time is that it didn't have to. And that diabetes has nothing to do with, you know, eating sweets and stuff like that, and the sugar intake from, you know, desserts and whatnot. Like, it took more research and more time for me to like dive into where it stems from to understand how I even got to that point. So she told me my body was rejecting insulin way worse than it had been before. At this point, I'm not like getting any insulin. Before, at least, I was still getting insulin in my body, but it was resisting it. So it wasn't breaking down. It wasn't breaking down the fat like it should have been processing in my body, if that makes any sense. It was just worse. It was worse than the time it happened before. And officially, the way that my levels were, I was officially pre-diabetic. And at first, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is the rest of my life. Like, this is it, you know, like, I'm gonna have to deal with potentially having diabetes for the rest of my life. And not only that, but since everything was just out of whack, like, hormonally, I was just all over the place. And come to find out, I was showing a lot of signs of like PCOS. And she didn't diagnose me with that, but I was just showing a lot of signs of it. And so she did give me a medicine that she told me that I needed to take. She said some people take like 2 a day. She wanted to start me out with 1, and just to see if it would help me with my insulin resistance. That's what the medication was for insulin resistance. It wasn't even necessarily for weight loss. It was not like a diet pill. It was to help with my insulin intake. And she told me she wanted me to take it for like at least 2 to 3 months consistently to see if, you know, there was any change. So I started taking the medicine, but as I'm taking the medicine, I am doing research. You know, how do you get diabetes? How do you move into that point in your, you know, health to have medication? So what causes diabetes. So I'm looking up all these things, and then I came across a video on Netflix called What the Health. Now at this point I had seen a portion, like a snippet of What the Health before, but I had never watched the entire thing. And it wasn't that I didn't want to watch it, I just never got around to it, I guess. So I watched What the Health. And if anybody that's watching this has seen it, it changes your life for sure. Like, seeing all of that just kind of confirmed a lot of things that I already had researched, already had been knowing, but it just confirmed it to me. And I realized that my body is not supposed to have meat. It's not supposed to have dairy. It's not supposed to have animal products. Look what's happening to me when I'm consuming those things. And I made a decision that night. I was like, I'm going vegan, period. And I watched it by myself. The very next morning, I told my mom and my sister about it, and I was like, I want us to watch it as a family. Now, I wasn't trying to push for them to go vegan. I just wanted them to understand why I was making the decision I was making. Because listen, y'all, like, my family, dad's side of the family, they are from Mississippi, and our family is very much Southern, very much Southern. Southern cooking, Southern way of eating, Southern way of living. And my mom's side of the family, a majority of them are from, Louisville, the Louisville, Kentucky area. So we still have like Southern roots, and I just needed them to understand why I was going to be cutting out all of the things that I was going to be cutting out moving forward, so that I don't get any, backlash or like taunting, not to say that they would do that. I just knew that if they understood why I was making my decision, then it would be better for me, a better transition for me, because I knew it was going to be difficult, because it was, or at least I thought it was going to be difficult, because it was something totally new, something I have never done in my life. And they were like, well, we'll watch it, we'll watch it. But they were not going into it with the mindset of, we're going to be vegan. So unfortunately, my stepdad was at work at the time. He wasn't able to watch it with us, but my mom, my sister, and I watched What the Health. This is day 2. So I watched it one night by myself, made my decision. Day 2, we're watching it as a family. And they were blown away by the facts as well. They were like, wow, we had no idea. And my sister was like, why don't we do like a 30-day vegan challenge? I was all for it, because I was not trying to ask them to go vegan. I wasn't trying to force them into anything. I just wanted them to understand my decision. So I was like, I'm for it, but just know that I'm going into it like 30-day challenge. However, this is a lifestyle change for me. So I don't plan on stopping after 30 days. And they very much was like, we can do this, we'll at least just challenge ourselves to 30 days. We'll make a decision after those 30 days are up. So we did it, and let me tell y'all something. We were having so much fun. Just cooking together, coming up with meals, meal prepping. Like, before going vegan, I really didn't know that it would be so much fun to come up with different ways to cook things. Because what people don't understand is they think, oh, vegans just eat, raw veggies and fruit all day. And that is not what it is. In fact, we have a lot of the same types of things that we liked before and loved before. We just make it without animal products. And our 30 days went by so fast because we were having so much fun cooking. Our meals were bomb. Every single meal that all of us made was bomb. And the next thing you know, it was the end of our 30 days, and we was like, well, let's just keep going. And here we are. And today is November 11th. We started on, I think, June 14th, maybe 15th. I'm gonna have to check. So here we are, almost 5 whole months in, and I don't miss it at all. Not only that, but my body immediately immediately started to change. Obviously, I'm not at my goal weight. I'm not in the best of, shape that I've ever been in my life. Again, it's only been 5 months or so. But I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I'm no longer dealing with, some of the other health issues. Prior to July, I had left my breathing treatment machine in California because I just kind of got up and left when, everything started happening, and I totally forgot to grab my breathing treatment. So that whole month of June, I was in so much pain because I could not breathe. I was so miserable. I called my doctor. The only thing she could do was order me another machine, but obviously because I had a brand new machine already, my insurance wasn't going to cover that. So I was like, if I can just make it to the end of July so that I can go back to California and get my things, and then I'll have my treatment. Y'all, when I tell y'all I was so miserable, no medication works. I was so out of breath, and I wasn't even doing anything. I would just I would try and lay there. I was sitting there, and my chest was just like, felt like it was so tight, you know what I mean? And so when I went vegan in June, by, a week to 2 weeks in, all of those problems with my asthma started to go away. And it just blew my mind because I could tell my body felt different. And I didn't feel as congested. I didn't feel as tight. I didn't feel like I couldn't breathe. I was a totally different person after my first 2 weeks going vegan. And this video isn't necessarily about me going vegan, but it did play a huge role in why my weight started to shift in a better light, I guess. And fast forward, a few months, I moved back to Indianapolis. I started dancing again. I started working out again, so I'm a little more active, And then I also joined a 30-day challenge with this girl named Jessica with Unique Fitness in Louisville. I did it virtually, and it was the best 30 days, y'all. Obviously, I didn't reach these crazy goals, but I did lose weight. I did tone up, and I'll make sure I insert clips and pictures of the day 1 of my challenge and day 30, because it was a significant change, and I was just so proud of myself, and it gave me that motivation that I needed to continue with this journey. And now I'm doing so much better. I'm not doing the 30 challenge with her anymore. I may join for another challenge at some point, but right now, I feel so motivated to just get back healthy, get in shape. So I will insert those pictures. The end of my 30-day picture was actually a little over a month ago, so they're not the most recent. So I have lost more weight since those pictures, but I'll give a full update on days and stuff like that in a different video. But bottom line of this entire video, this whole little smoothie in chat, is you know your body better than anybody does. When you feel like something's not right, when you've reached a point where you feel like something's really not right, go see about it. Because had I not gone to the doctor, I would have never known that I was moving into the life of diabetes. I would have never known that. And I've always been a relatively really healthy person, and so it was just a drastic change. But you know your body more than anybody else. If you don't feel good, you really don't feel good, you don't feel like yourself, go see somebody, go see a doctor, and figure out what's going on. Because the only way for us to fix things or to move or live a healthier lifestyle is for us to know. That's basically it, y'all. But I'm gonna keep you guys on this fitness journey with me. My road to recovery is kind of what I'm calling it, just because I believe I can get back at my goal weight. I believe I can be in shape. I believe that I can feel confident in my body and my skin again. Don't get me wrong, I feel much better now than I did a few months ago, but I'm still not where I want to be. But I'm manifesting it, I'm speaking it, I know that it's gonna happen. And I want you guys to do the same. Yeah, that's it. I am sending peace and positivity to you guys. Spread love throughout your day. Show yourself some love. And remember, self-love is the best love.